Hey team, it is so cold outside. It's Happy Friday, and right now it's showing 15 degrees. It is 4:20 right now, so smoking if you got 'em. And it's so cold that my tire pressures all show low right now due to the compression effect of air when the temperature drops, or any gas. Anyway, so I'll have to add some air to my tires. I won't pay for the premium air. Won't pay for the premium air. All right, guys. So today I want to talk about doing risk assessments. There's a lot of really perspectives on it. What I find a lot of people do when they do a risk assessment is a vulnerability test. And then they hand that vulnerability test over to the business and say, here's your vulnerability test, or here's your risk assessment. And it says, firewall is running this firmware and needs to be upgraded. Certificate is running a 1024-bit key instead of a 2048-bit key, and you should update it. It's saying that, you have, a Windows 7 box here. It's saying all this stuff that's our vulnerabilities, but it doesn't explain risk to the business. So I think a lot of and I've seen this on cyber pros that have gone to forensic school, gone to have a cybersecurity degree, been involved in the industry. They will, from a cyber geek point of view, that's your risk, right? Is those vulnerabilities. But no, that's not your risk. Matter of fact, a lot of those vulnerabilities may be very low risk and really should be ignored almost, So risk is only risk if it has business impact. Period. For a business, risk is only risk if it has business impact. So you can have all kinds of risks that may have been remote code execution, high potential, high probability, all kinds of stuff. But if there's no business impact, it's not a risk. Ignore it. If there's nothing if it's on its own segment and it's not hosting anything, it doesn't have any data, and it's print server and nobody can get access to the network because of it, which is a rare situation. But all I'm saying is we're talking about vulnerabilities where the business doesn't even know what a fucking vulnerability is. They want to know about risk. So when you're talking about risk to the business, you have probability and cost. Those are the two things the business needs to know. The business doesn't need to know that you're running a Cisco ASA with firmware 8.2.1. They don't need to know any of that. They need to know that right now they have a risk that could potentially cost them intrusion to their network, which could lead to, millions of dollars of ransomware cleanup fines, ransoms, etc. They need to know that. They don't need to know anything about, that, you're missing a patch on XYZ machine, as far as risk. Now, if you're talking to an IT person, that may be a good appendix, is, all the vulnerabilities. But when we're talking about risk, different from vulnerabilities. So vulnerabilities, don't indicate any amount of business impact. There's CVSS scoring, which kind of indicates impact to that system. There's no business impact indicated by CVSS scoring. So, just keep that straight in your mind, that vulnerabilities are not risk. You can have the most vulnerable network in the world, but if you're not running anything on it, who cares? It might as well just be a demolition lab or a honeypot. Focus on what's a risk. Anyway, that's just really what I wanted to say is I've been in too many conversations with cyber geeks who give me a risk assessment that's just a vulnerability scan. I can run Nessus. I can run, OpenVAS. I don't need you to give me a vulnerability test. I need to understand what the risk is based on current threats, based on the current climate, based on a lot of factors, OSINT, based on, dark web. I need to know, based on our industry and our threat surface, our attack surface, really what the risk is to the business. Are we in a high risk right now? Do I need to offset some of that risk with insurance? Do I need to invest in some new technology to remediate some of that risk? Is there a plan? Or is this risk I have to accept? But that's, that everybody on my staff needs training and I can't afford it right now. So we're just going to accept that risk that I have a bunch of ignorant people. That kind of thing. So learning to separate risk from vulnerabilities is important. All right. Happy Friday, and I hope you are warmer than I am right now. Thank you so much.